Guys, good afternoon. I believe the people are all joining in this third hour link. Kindly inform your friends, and the speaker will be joining in momentarily, and Savin sir will also join. So kindly be ready.
Very good afternoon to you, dear students. So we would be having our next session now. Once Madhu ma'am joins, we would be having the session.
Um, Good afternoon, Eugene sir. Good afternoon, students. I've already joined. This is Madhurima.
Amazing, amazing. Welcome back, Miss Madhurima. That's a great joy to have you here back with us. Hope you're doing really good.
Yes, I'm doing
Okay.
great. I hope
Right,
everybody
right.
is doing well.
Yes, yes, yes. At IHM Chennai also, we're all doing good. So we will be good to start, Miss Madhu, right now. It's 12:15. So very good afternoon to each and every one of you, dear students. So the second session is going to be a very, very interesting session for us, which will be handled by Miss Madhurima. Madhurima is the training manager of Fairfield by Marriott Kolkata. But then it is really an very, very, thrilling information that you all will come across if I'm going to tell you something. Madhurima ma'am is the distinguished alumni of our own institute. Ma'am studied here in this institute and graduated in the year 2013. And ma'am was a very, very studious student when she was here with us. Through campus recruitment, Madhu ma'am got placed in one of the biggest chain of hotels, that is the Ramada Group, which is an international UK-based company, five-star hotel in Chennai, as a management trainee in core operations. And we were very fortunate to have Madhurima ma'am as our faculty, and she was an expert in bakery and chocolatier. She used to play like anything with unique bakery products, and every day she used to create some unique chocolatier stuff. And she used to enthrall everyone with her beautiful talents and skills. We really miss that. That absence could not be filled, Miss Madhu. It was a great time that we had, and later on, She was, as I said, she was really a skilled person, and the industry wanted her services. So she joined as assistant training manager at the Raintree Group of Hotels, and her growth even more doubled up. And Marriott International also recognized that she was one of the emerging leaders, and she has been with the Marriott Group since 2019, and from then onwards, she is growing leaps and bounds in her career. So today, God's grace, we got the opportunity to get her appointment, and it is really a nice thing that Madhu ma'am had accepted our humble invitation, and it is a rare opportunity for all of you to interact and learn a lot from Madhu ma'am. So on behalf of each and every one of you, the faculty team, head of the department, and the principal, a warm welcome to Miss Madhurima once again in the virtual mode to interact with all of us. Thank you so much, and the floor is all open to you.
Thank you so much, Eugene sir. That's so kind of you. Those words are really very precious, and coming from one of my faculty, I feel blessed and I feel great. And yes, already my introduction has been given by sir, so I will not again talk about my profile anymore. We'll go straight towards today's agenda. And a very good afternoon to all of you, all the students of third years. And I believe all of you are doing well, though you all are not able to come to college and you are joining virtually. That's a great effort, and everything, whatever is like arranged from the college and by you all, it's great. Um, Today's agenda that we will be talking about, rather, I will not say that I will talk about, because I would like to see from your side also if you have any questions, because I want to make it little interactive, not only me speaking. So it'll be on basically you all are getting prepared for yourself for the campus recruitment that will gonna start soon. So basically for that, I'm here to guide you all. Since I was a student, I was one of you there. And then with the help of all the guidance of the faculties and professionals from the hotel background as well, I have come up to a level like this. So I would also share my knowledge with you all to help you for the same. Right, so I'll go ahead. As discussed, we were supposed to talk about, first of all, if we talk about the campus recruitment, what is that first thing that comes in your mind? May I have some answers in the chat box?
Students, you are free to use the chat box. You can even unmute and speak.
Okay, there are answers coming up there as bright future, opportunities, leveling up in life. Okay, these are the prospects. Like I'm talking about when you think about campus recruitments coming. Like for example, Eugene sir is telling you that guys, by next 2 days, there will be some of the brand, maybe Oberoi's coming for interviews, coming to conduct the campus recruitment. First thing in your mind, what is the thing that comes? To have a good preparation. Okay. Preparation means what exactly comes in your mind? What all includes in the preparation? How to get prepared for it? Okay, right, I got it. So basically for preparation, what is the first thing that you want to prepare for? Current affairs, field knowledge, right? Right. So basically, when we talk about campus recruitment, the first thing that comes in anybody's mind is current affairs, because something which is very important, because you all know there are group discussions, which is the basic first round that any hotel will conduct, right? Confidence, that also matters. Yes, of course, confidence also matters. About the company, yes. About the company, yes. Basically, you will get to know about the company, followed by which you will be sitting for the campus. So the first thing that comes in mind is preparing your CV, I believe. How many of you agree to that? Right. So basically, making your CV, it's a very important part, if you can like consider in the preparation of your campus recruitment. Because when you present your CV, you're presenting the whole background, the whole profile of yours to somebody who will be judging you on the base of the CV before they can speak to you. So generally, when you talk about CV, we try to give more and more details in the CV, right? So we always think about what else we can mention, how we can mention what all we have achieved in college, how the skills that we have, or maybe from where we have done our training, what all responsibilities you were taking care at that point of time when you were there in the industrial training. So basically, when we talk about CV, it's not always about the detailing part. It's about being very specific, because the recruiter who is coming, he will be seeing so many CVs, like so many resumes of yours, that he might not go through to all the details. So it is very important that whenever you are making your CV, it is very, very important that you make it in a very specific way. The important points should be always highlighted, and then the details can come in a very short and very crisp manner. It should not be in a very descriptive way, basically, because your CV should not go up to a number of pages like 4 or 5 or 6 pages like that, because it is very important that you make your CV, try to make it in one page, it's one in one page itself, because that is very important, because the recruiter will not be able to go through the whole part of it. So generally in CV, things which are important, I believe you already know that, I don't have to mention it again. Of course, your personal profile is very important, where your name, your email address, and phone numbers, these are something which is very, very normal and very basic, which has to be there in the CV. But apart from that, if you are mentioning something like skills, or maybe your achievements, if you have won any awards or anything, if you have got any recognition during your internship, or any recognition in the college, all that should also be mentioned in the CV, but again in a very crisp, not in a very descriptive way. Anything that you want to ask, as per like when you're making your CV, any kind of questions that you have, or any doubts that you have, you can type it in the chat box. I'll start my video so that I think it's better, so that you all can see me as well when I'm speaking. I was audible, I know. Am I visible now?
Yes, it's super visible. It's very clear.
Okay, thank you, sir. So what I can see is some of the answers coming here should be add a summary of in the beginning. Summary in the sense, you can add a small, like not a summary exactly, but a introduction where you can write that why anyone should take you as a team member in their particular organization. You are very motivated, self-motivated, or something like that, which you can add there. Any other queries that you have regarding the CV? It's very
I have a query, Ms. Madhu.
Yes, sir.
Usually students ask, should the CV be for just one page, or it can go for 3, 4 pages or 2 pages? What should be the right thing like?
Right. So as I was already mentioning, it's better to make your CV to fit in everything within one page, because whenever there is a recruiter, they will be going through so many so many numbers of resumes, that is very good if you are keeping your limit to only one page. In one page, but you make your CV as if like wherever it is required, you highlight those points which are important, you feel as important, which you need to showcase as your like in your profile, you want to showcase it to somebody. Like for example, you can showcase your skills that you have, the highlighted, you can highlight it. Then also you can highlight any achievements that you had. Then you can highlight from which brand or from which hotel you have done your internship. And then it is very important you also mention your educational qualification. Like for example, if you are in a third year, definitely you mention your first year qualification, what is the percentage that you have got, and all that, all those also to be mentioned in the CV.
Thank you so much, Madhu.
So is it okay to be a bit creative, or should we stick to generic formats? It's very good if you can be creative, though I will suggest you can be creative on CVs when you actually grow a bit more. Like for example, when you are starting with your career, it's better to be in the generic formats, because when you become creative, it is like mainly for those particular areas. Like if you are in marketing or you are in sales, those kind of CVs can be little creative. However, I am not telling you to not be creative in your CVs. If you are like applying for the operational departments, you can still be creative, but not don't do too much. So we always talk about this. This is something which is very in nowadays, which is like less is more. So it's not very needed that you need to mention everything, or you need to be very creative and very colorful in your CV. It can be less, but yet it has to be crisp, and all the points should be there. All the like highlighted points that you want to showcase as your profile, it should be there in the CV. Could we add any references, name and designation of whom we worked under previously? Yes, you can do that. But however, in your CV, it is not so important. When you get to like when you work with an organization, when you join, that time they will ask for the references. So if you want to mention somebody as your reference, you can. However, it is not so much important to mention it when you are starting your career. Any other questions, or we'll move forward? So basically, after we talk about the CVs, we'll come to the next preparation point. I believe after the CV, I think by now you all have made your CV, just that you need to make some changes after you get guidance from your faculties and professionals from the hotels. Followed by that, it is very important, more than your CV. I feel personally that more than your CV, your personal appearance matters a lot. If I talk about personal appearance, it not only ends up buying very branded and very pricey formals and all that. It means purely your body language, the way you speak, the way you walk, or the way you sit, or the way you make your eye contacts during your recruitment procedure. It can be the group discussion, it can be the personal interview round, whatever it is. It is how we carry our personality. Yes, very, very important. So of course, your attire also has some importance. Definitely your formals, whatever you wear, it has to be proper formals. The way your hair do and everything has to be proper. Your name badges has to be there, and all those things comes under the attire part, which I believe I don't have to talk about it, because you already know, because you are already into the structure where you are attending the practical classes and also attending the front office sessions, where you already are going there and with proper grooming and everything, right? Grooming is something which matters the most when we go to any of the classes, especially for the practical classes, right? Ma'am, isn't adding someone as reference is like asking help? Sometimes it can lead to that. It depends on person to person, the recruiter. Basically, it depends on person to person how they're taking it. So that's the reason I told it's better you avoid mentioning the references just before itself, before you are starting your career, because reference is something once you join, they do a ref check, that time it is needed. Okay, so coming to the body language part, the personality that you will be showcasing to the recruiter, it is very important whenever you are speaking to somebody, you maintain an eye contact, which is the most important part, because maintaining eye contact is something which gives a very positive attitude, which gives a very positive attitude. Apart from that, it is very important the way you sit, the body posture. So it is always, I think, we discuss, like when we were there as students, is to discuss like how we should sit. Your hand should not cross, your leg should not cross, and you should not make gestures like this, cross fingers and all those stuffs. So basically you need to keep your hands open and keep it on your lap, and your sitting should not be as if like you are sitting in your drawing room or something like that. It has to be very straight. What to do if you don't have any achievements for the CV? It's not a problem. It's all depend on you. So basically, if you have any achievements, you write it. If you do not have, don't write it. Don't mention it. That's okay. So if you are not having any achievements in your college or maybe in your internship, just highlight the portion of skills where you want to showcase that these are the other skills that you have personally. So coming back to body posture, when we are there in group discussions, what are the points do you all know, like the sitting, the body posture, or the way you speak and all that? What all points that you already have in your mind in terms of group discussion? There are no answers coming in the chat box. So the recruitments or the campus recruitments have already started, or it will be starting?
The recruitments are getting scheduled. So maybe near future they'll be exposed to some recruitments. Yes, you're on talks with some of the companies.
Right, right. So I can see some answers here that you should be bold. They will start, okay, giving equal chance to everybody and not making the GD a fighting scene. Very important point that I think Swagat Ranjan Padhi has written. It's very important that you give equal chance to everyone and not make the GD as a fighting scene. To be a good listener is very important as well. Being bold, sometimes it can lead to something negative. Whoever has mentioned it, Sushmita Murugeshan. Being bold is something, if you are in a positive way, it is very good, but then it can also lead to somewhat in the negative side as well. So you have to be in your limits as well whenever you are not agreeing to any of the points which the other members are speaking about. It is necessary to mention the achievements which are related only to the field. No, it's not necessary. You can still write all the achievements which are not related as well. If you have won in any singing competition or anything, that also is something where it shows that you are well connected with the other curricular activities also. Have to be confident about what we are saying. GD is just a place to express one's view. Have a positive attitude, have a positive approach towards the topic. It is very important. So I can see a lot of answers coming. And one question which has come, ma'am, as you said, if we do not have any achievement, we can highlight our skills. We should mention certified skills or any skills. You can mention both your certified skills as well and any skills. Like for example, any skills, if we talk about, you can talk about you're self-motivated, or maybe you are very punctual, or maybe you are a person who never gets into a low situation, like you are always in a very positive mood and you can spread positivity, kind of that. You can just write it the way you write. Basically, you can play around with words there. Okay, but write something which is correct. Don't just write anything that you feel like writing, something that is about you. Okay, so coming back to group discussion, if we talk about group discussion, it is very, very important that you stick to the topic, you don't deviate from it. And also please remember this, that whoever is the recruiter, he or she will not judge you on the basis of whether you are supporting the topic or you are speaking against the topic. That doesn't matter. What matters the most is the points that you are throwing in when you are talking about the topic, or going against or going for the topic. That doesn't matter at all. So it is like the valid points. It's not that like Hindi mein bolte hain na, hawa mein teer marna. It's like you just speak anything out of the blue and which is not at all related to the topic. That is something which you're not supposed to do. So you don't have to always be in a hurry and speak. You want to speak first. It's not so important that if you speak first, then only you will be selected or something like that. But then you can be a good listener and you can have your points ready in your mind, and then you can speak. But when you speak, nobody should interrupt. When people will not interrupt when your point is valid. It's not that people will interrupt by themselves. If somebody is interrupting also, if you're speaking something very valid and you're very like confident while speaking, then nobody will interrupt automatically. The way you speak itself, it will give a very what should I say, a positive vibe will be there in the group, where nobody will be able to interrupt in your speaking, and you will be able to put forward your points directly. Now, if you disagree with some points, it's very important. You can disagree and you can say the points. But when you are disagreeing to a point, there should be a valid point that you are mentioning there. And also, you should not repeat anyone's points again and again to just make sure that you are speaking. Because sometimes it happens that we don't get any points and we try to take a point from somebody's whenever they're speaking, and then telling the same point again, which will actually impact in a negative way. I can see some questions again. You should maintain. Acha, it's the same question that I have already answered. Ma'am, how to define our weakness in our interview? How to define our weakness in our interview, as we are able to say about our strength but not about weakness, if it will pay a negative impact. You are not supposed to write anything negative in your CV, because we always say in hotel industry, whenever you have to say no, do not say no to your guest, but put forward with lot of options. So it is very important that you know your weakness points and you keep it in your mind. If in case a recruiter is asking, since you have written so many positive skills about yourself, what are your weaknesses, then you are able to put it forward. But put forward it in a way it should not sound like very negative, right? But I will suggest not to mention your weaknesses in your CV. It is not so important. If anybody is asking, yes, of course, you can put it forward, but in a very positive way. Can a well-rounded CV become a distinguishing factor in MT interviews, like an added advantage? No, it's not like that. Your CV will not carry the points like if you have achieved something, then only you're getting the job or something like that. It's always like the way you perform, it matters the most. Of course, your achievements and your percentages of the marks basically that you're getting in your college, in the semesters, basically that matters. But I will definitely say the way you perform also matters the most. Ma'am, can all well-rounded CV become a distinguishing factor in MT interviews? I have answered that already. Can we highlight a point that others said and express our view in that? Is that okay? Yes, it is okay to sometimes say that, yes, I totally agree with someone's points. You can say, you don't repeat the point, but you can say, I totally agree with so-and-so. You need to mention the name, my friend Saurav, or my friend. I can see some of the names flashing here, so I'm just saying, yes, I agree to the point of Rupkatha, like that. But you don't have to repeat the points again, because it will kill the time. What if I disagree a point at the beginning of discussion, but at the end, if I agree, should I speak up and I agree to the point? No, you don't become double mind. It's better in the starting itself, when the topic is given, you gather the points, because they will give you 1 minute of time before you can start your speaking. So you decide in your mind that you want to speak for the topic or against. What all points do you have? You quickly jot those points in your mind and feel like decide that the points that you have are good points for the topic or against the topic, and you decide and you start speaking. Once you start with the for the topic, it's better to stick to that. How communication is important to get selected. Communication skills, if I talk about the way you speak the English communication, mainly, it's important, but I will not say that you are only judged on the basis of the English. It is very important that you are able to express yourself. So you can still go ahead and speak very simple English where you can construct the sentence and speak. So it is very important you start practicing speaking skills, because if you are not able to speak, you are like little scared if my points I'll be able to express in a proper way or not, then you will not be able to be confident while you are speaking. So it is very important you start practicing your speaking skills, very important, which you can do, which I've learned from one of my faculty in the college. I hope all of you know Chef Perumal. From him I have learned that we need to if you feel that you are not good in English communication, what you can do is you can practice in front of your mobile or in front of the mirror, as if you are speaking to yourself, and you can you can actually overnight you can actually see a lot of enhancement that will come to your English communication. You can speak in front of the mobile, why I'm saying, because you can record it and you can listen to it and then you can correct yourself. So it is a very good example of practicing your speaking skills. And don't get demotivated if you feel that, don't feel like this, that no, I'll not be able to speak. Just be confident and speak out, and you will get there. Ma'am, will academic performance affect the recruitment? There are certain brands who are very particular about your percentages of your academic performance. So in that case, yes, but I will say that since you are judged only, like you are all freshers, you have not worked yet with any company. So you are just about to start your career. So definitely when you start your career, they will see how you have performed in your academics. It is very important that your attendance and your academic percentages are proper, because attendance is something which builds up trust. Like in hotels, in hotel industry, trust is a very big word. Let's not talk more about that, but then I'm straightly coming to this, that when there are rosters and all created, it is believed that yes, this person will come on time on this particular shift and he will be handling that shift properly. So there is a trust which is lying there. So if your attendance is low, you will be considered as a person who can't be trusted in the organization, basically. So your attendance percentage is also very, very important. That shows your commitment as well. Can you tell the percentage of questions asked on academic section and general questions? Percentage, I can't, it is not that it's very fixed, some percentage or something like that. But yes, your basic skills are very important. So whatever you have learned in your first year and in your second year, it is very, very important that you remember all those things. The basic questions are very important. Okay, don't think that they will only ask or only give you situation handling questions and all. They will definitely be asking your technical skills, which are very basic. What qualities a recruiter looks for in a person applying for management training program? A recruiter definitely for management training program, they see the maturity level, which comes in when you are speaking in the group discussion, and definitely when they will be sitting with you in the personal personal round also, where you will be directly facing the recruiter. They will be deciding on that. So on the basis of the way you speak or the the personality, or maybe your skills as a, like how responsible you are. So they will be judging all that through the questions they will ask you. Okay, so that is very important. That's why I was talking about more about the body language, more about not being bold in the group discussion, because all those, because when you talk about a leader, it is not that a leader will always be in the first and the people will follow them. It's like always they will be a part of the team and they will lead the team, but then still they will be a part of the team. So basically all those kind of things they will look in you. And definitely I will not say this is something which is my perspective. Now there are recruiters and it varies person to person, it varies how they will judge you. So don't get into that thinking or the thought that whether this recruiter will like me or not. Thinking that itself, you lose your confidence and you will not be able to perform much. So it's better to be little like be your you like give your 100% basically, and not think about what the result will be. And also from my personal experience, something which I want to share, which is maybe something which is very important. It might happen there are many brands who are coming and they are you are not getting selected. Maybe you are not able to cross the GD round, or maybe you are not able to cross the personal round, whatever. But then don't get upset and don't be demotivated. That is very, very important. Just keep this in your mind that there are different needs of the different kind of needs for different kind of companies. So according to that they choose. It's not that you are not good, that's why you are not able to perform, or maybe because of that you are not getting selected. So never feel demotivated. The right organization looking for a person which is you, then only you will be getting selected in that particular company. The needs of the company is different. Okay, the way the positions that they have or something like that, it all depends. Okay, so one brand or one hotel not selecting you doesn't prove that you are not good. Please keep that in your mind, which is very important. Because if you are demotivated, you will not be able to perform the way you want to perform to the campus recruitments or the hotels that will come after that. Ma'am, what are the other rounds in the MT other than the GD round? Other than the GD round, it's personal interview. And basically, once you are reaching to the GM rounds, after that only they will be deciding. Maybe they will have it in their mind that these candidates we will select for MT or HOT or whatever. And then after your GD round, after your GM's round only, it is decided. Will the company tell us the post of particular department they are looking to recruit? I don't think so. It will be so specific. They will just tell you that they are here to recruit, and these are the all the operational departments they are looking ahead for. And then they will be also talking about if they are having any positions in sales or HR. So all those things also will be there, but not maximum companies will like to have freshers for their sales and HR. Mostly they will be looking for people for operations. What are the general topics which are being asked in the group discussion? Group discussion is all about your awareness. So basically the current affairs, you need to read newspapers, need to be very updated. Like nowadays phone is there, so you don't have to look for the newspaper, you can directly get it online. So newspapers or anything that is going on currently, the current affairs basically is the most important. And also it can be certain important topics like anything which is not so, maybe not so related to your to hotel industry or something. It can be anything. It is not always it is related to hotel industry. Is there aptitude test for any company? Yes, it is there. There are many brands who will come and directly they will have aptitude test, and they will first conduct a written examination, basically where you will get options and all that. And on basis of that, they will be taking some students forward for the group discussion. Like we had, I am a passed out student of 2013. Back then, Taj and all, they used to come and they used to conduct first round of interview, used to be a written round. What are the questions asked in personal interview round? Personal interview is mostly they will be asking, of course, the basic technical skills will be asked. Apart from that, there will be situation handling questions if you are sitting for the front office department or F&B department. And very, very important, they will ask you that, they can ask you like this, that whatever is there in your CV, I can already see that. So tell me something which is not there in your CV. So be prepared for all that type of questions. And it is very normal. They can also ask you just brief about yourself, like briefly say, talk about yourself. So you start with it. So plan it accordingly. I would say speak in front of your phone or in front of your mirror and just record it and see how it is sounding, the throw of words, where to give a little the tone that you speak in. It is also very important sometimes, where you, like when you highlight something in your CV, that is an important point. So when you're speaking, the way you highlight matters also. Like for example, when you are talking, you give a little specification, like your tone must change, or maybe you give a little higher sound on while speaking on the points that you want to highlight during your introduction or something like that, when the recruiter is asking you in your personal interview. How did you become the training manager of JW Marriott? What was the first department which you got placed? So basically, I started my career with culinary department. Like I was a management trainee with Ramada, and I was a management trainee for culinary. And followed by that, I was teaching in our own college, IHM Chennai. So basically, both those, like when I was a management trainee, definitely, and of course when I was an intern, I interned with Hyatt Regency. So basically, both this experience gave me a chance to work in all the operational departments, like if I talk about housekeeping, front office, everything. And of course, when you like have the basic knowledge of all the operations, and of course my teaching background also supported me, in which both mixing together, I got through into training. I always wanted to go there, like be in training, because I felt that hotel, I love to be in the hotel kind of an atmosphere. But then of course there are certain reasons when sometimes I could not, I was limited towards like those kind of like night shifts and all is something which is not my cup of tea. So that's the reason I moved to training. But still I am with the hotel atmosphere, which I wanted to be in. I believe I have covered maximum points. I hope I have not missed anything. And if you want to ask anything more, you can ask. I feel throughout the session, you all have been very interactive, because I wanted it to be like that. I don't want to end up speaking only. If one is interested to go in a teaching path, what would be your suggestion? Teaching path, in the sense, if you talk about teaching in hotel management colleges, I would suggest, it is my personal recommendation, that it is always good to start your career with hotels. And once you have the practical knowledge of the operations, then only you start going to teaching. Because once you have the experience of operations practically, not theoretically, but practically, then only you will be able to teach in a right way to the students who are coming to any of the hotel management colleges to who aspire to become a hotelier. Any other question? Sir, I believe I have covered most of the points, and I have been like answering their questions as well. Anything that you have, any questions that you want to ask? Do the major brands recruit BSc freshers for revenue management department? Revenue management is a department which is something where BSc freshers, I don't think so people will like to take, because you need to have basic practical knowledge of the operations, then only you will be able to move towards that more. However, if you are like I feel sales and marketing, HR, these are the particular departments where freshers from BSc directly is something which you need to be a very extra like intelligent or something like that. I'm not sure about it, but according to me, I feel when I go to recruit students from BSc, it is very important that I recruit them for operation departments, because I if I take them as HR also is fine, but then will not be able to take them for the sales and marketing or the revenue. These are the places where you need to have more knowledge about the operations practically. Is there any exam that had to be cracked before joining teaching department? Yes, there are exams. I think Eugene sir will be able to guide you in a better way. There are entrance exam which happens, which you can sit for after your BSc. Definitely, you need to complete your MSc, and then only you can sit for those exams. Directly after BSc, you will not be able to. MSc you need to have, or else you need to have a certain years of experience in the hotel. I'm as JW Mary looking forward to have IHM Chennai students as their employees. Why not? Why not? But then as a unit, we do not recruit. We go as a team. Team Marriott goes and recruits, but then unit hotel doesn't go and recruit in that way. A particular property from a particular city, in that way HR doesn't go. As a whole, as a Marriott team, from the Marriott area office, they go for the recruitments. What would be good for career? It's a very doubtful question, because it depends, like it varies. Whatever is good for you might not be good for me, so I will not be able to answer in that question in that way. Maybe if I will be having a one-on-one session with you, then I'll be able to tell you what will be good for your career. I can't say something here where there are 100 of people here, because everybody's career can be different, because everybody is different and everybody's choices are different. The way they work or the skills they have, everything is different. I've come across instances where BSc students were chosen for Voyager in revenue management, so it seems to be a rare but possible instances, perhaps. Maybe. I have not come across something like that. Voyager, in the sense you're talking about Marriott itself. So I'm not very sure, but Voyager program is there. But for revenue management, I doubt. But if you have seen somebody like that, then yes, maybe there are exceptions happening here and there. Is doing MBA had additional benefit while joining industry? I would say hotel industry is all about your experience. It's not about if you are able to do your MSc or MBA, whatever, because if you want to work in operations or any of the departments in the hotel, it is very important you start your career soon after the BSc, because it gives a lot more exposure to in the industry itself, where you get to gain the practical knowledge. Any other questions? So is that fine, or anything that you want me to address also?
Oh, that's really, really perfect, Madhu. It was really a great session, I should say. So much of interactions from the students, and I'm happy that my students have really connected with you very well. They had a lot of questions, and I'm glad.
Correct. They are still asking how one can join sales and marketing department after HM. It completely depends on the particular company. They want to hire anyone who after the BSc itself. I have seen many of my batchmates and my juniors and my students who are getting placed as sales and marketing MTs, Voyagers as well. So it totally depends on your preparation, how you want to prepare yourselves to perform in the campus recruitment, the interviews. I done my internship in 3-star hotel and not a well-known hotel. Is this factor when affect? No, it will not affect at all, because if you are performing well in your interview, are able to showcase that yes, you have the skills and the knowledge of practical knowledges about the operational departments. Definitely, this particular thing will not be a particular point where they will not select you.
Anything else the student would like to ask?
Oh, I can see Manikandan sir as well.
Yes,
Hi.
yes.
Hi. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
Lovely presentation today. Nice.
students must be wondering, both Mani sir and Madhu ma'am, they're all good friends. They're all alumni,
Yes.
and they all work together in this institute, and it's a nice thing. It's a very happy moment that they greet each other. Yes.
Yes, I always feel great whenever I get opportunities like this from my own college. It feels great actually to be in this side where I am guiding the students of my own college.
I think there is a question.
I am seeing that. Then my internship is done. Ma'am, after BSc, can we directly join HR department? Again, it's the same where I answered for the sales and marketing. It depends totally on your preparation. There are some hotels who do give opportunities to interns to do their internship in HR. Where while doing your other operational departments also you get to work in the HR department, and if you have knowledge in your HR department, yes, there are hotels who do take BSc students in the HR department as well. Again, it depends upon brand to brand, company to company. There's nothing fixed. And of course, the way you perform in your interview also matters. We didn't get to know all the departments in our training. I would not think it is enough for us to know what our interests are in. Is it possible to re-choose after we join the job? No. Once you join the job, it is very difficult and they will be giving you hardly any opportunity where you can join in some other department. So it is very important while working and while doing the training itself, you decide. I know there are instances where you don't get chance to work in all the operational departments in the hotel, considering the situation of COVID or something like that nowadays. So it is very important that through your practical classes in your college, or maybe the theory classes, and you can speak to your faculties, and in that way you can decide. But it's very important that you decided before your campus itself that which department you want to go for. What are the steps for joining HR department? There are no particular steps basically. So I'm now working in training. As of now, I am also taking care of the HR since my HR leader is not there. There are no one as HR leader here. So it's always like there are MBAs and all that also for HR that you can do. But definitely in hotels, after working in operations, slowly you can turn yourself towards the HR department or the sales and marketing department or to training like that. How anyone can join HR? I have answered this question already. Sales and marketing. Ma'am, is it hard to get MT in food production? No, it is not hard to get MT in food production, but you need to be very, very strong while you're working in production, because many people tend to leave their jobs when they are working in food production, because yes, it is very difficult at in the early stages, but I will say not for food production, but for all operational departments and any company, any field. The first 2 to 3 years are very, very important, as well as very, very hard to cross. So many people lose their patience, they get themselves demotivated and they leave, which is not supposed to be done. So it's very important that you complete your first 2 years of job, whatever you're getting through your campus, and then you decide and move. As I have worked with HR, or so should I have to mention in my CV? You can mention which all departments you have worked, or else I would suggest not to mention in your CV, but when you're giving your introduction, you can talk about it, because in your CV, if you mention it, then in case you want to sit for any other department or they are looking for some other department, they will not choose you only. So it's better not to be very specific. If a person interested in F&B operations, she hasn't done any F&B operation due to this pandemic, will it affect your career? No, it will not affect your career. F&B department is something which comes like with your skills and your interests basically. So if you have not done your internship in that particular department, it is not a problem. Will retail sector be a good choice as a career beside hotel? Yes, I have seen many people moving to retail sectors as well. But my personal, this thing is the growth that you have in hotel is something which is maybe very slow. In retail, might be it is very lucrative and very fast you can grow. But then always, when you grow gradually, you becomes more stronger. So your growth still continues. But in retail, and some point of time, I feel the growth stops somewhere. What other fields would be relevant to a hotel management skill? Hotel management course is a course when you actually will come across after maybe 5 or 6 years. You will realize this, that all the industry loves to take people from hotel management background because they believe that we are the best. That is something which I have seen. It's my own experience I'm talking about. Any
Yes, I think students are totally convinced with your guidance and answers. They are very happy and they are very clear. I can feel that, in fact. Yes. Oh, that's great. Lot of claps are moving on the screen. Lot of thank you messages.
Thank you so much. Thank you so
Oh, the
much,
claps
everyone.
are pouring in. Claps are pouring in for you. They
All
have
the
all
best
become
to
your
all of
fans.
you.
Yes.
Thank you so much. All the best to all of you. You can connect with me if you want to. I am there, very much available in social media and all. And definitely, I'm always here to help all of you. And thank you so much, Eugene sir, for giving me this opportunity. As I am always telling you, I feel great whenever this kind of opportunities come.
Oh, no. It is like you have given us the opportunity to interact with you. You're a big person now. You gave appointment and, you were able to grab your time. And it is always, a nice homecoming feel whenever, we interact with you. Yes. So thank you so much, Ms. Madhu, on behalf of all my students, faculty team, HOD, and principal, for eliminating these little ones and giving them a very futuristic hope, giving them a lot of positivity, and clarifying all their doubts. It has been a very very useful, informative, and a very very encouraging session, I should say. And definitely, we will once again be requiring your services in the near future. We would keep disturbing you.
Yes, sir. Anytime. I would love to interact with the students, and the opportunities like this, I always welcome. Thank you so much, and all the best to all of you. I believe totally that you all will perform well in your campus recruitments. And I will always say this: don't get demotivated if you're not getting selected in any one particular company. That is very important. You don't get yourself demotivated. Stay motivated, and you will be able to crack it.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for those lovely, encouraging words. Thank
Thank
you
you so
so
much.
much. Yes. So, students, let's say bye to ma'am. You can say bye and wish you all the very best. Stay safe, Madhu. We'll be in
Yes.
touch. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you
Bye.
so much, sir.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye
Bye,
bye.
Manikanda sir.
Bye. Take care.
Thank you, Mani sir, for being there throughout.
Glad to be of assistance, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.